Hello and welcome to the best mods for Xbox PC, where we will be looking at some of the best mods to check out each and every single day, or at least that's the aim. There'll be something here for everyone, definitely worth checking out. Use the chapters where you need them. If you do get anything out of this, consider liking, subscribing. It goes a really long way. Appreciate your time. Let's get into it.
We're going to start off with an interesting one. In Shattered Space, there was actually two Class M ships. The Mourning, which is this bad boy here, which definitely has a lot of resemblance to probably its predecessor, the Shroud-Bearer, which is the legendary Class M ship. But what this mod does, it's going to add these ships into your outpost ship landing pad. So we get the Mourning, and we also get another ship called the Mourning, but looks much more similar to the Varun Shroud-Bearer. The mod is called, funnily enough, the Mourning, and this is by Vitamin K45. And this draws on two assets from Shattered Space DLC. Although it doesn't require the DLC to function, the ships have been distinct features, focusing on the high cargo capacity. But basically, these have been slipped in, kind of half-built, half-finished sort of ships that are introduced into Shattered Space. Probably one of these is the one that sits right in the heart of Varun City. Cool thing is, we'll be able to purchase these. Now, they're going to cost a ton of credits, so just keep that in mind. We will not be able to fly these without mucking around and fixing them up. I've done tutorials on how to get Class M ships flying. Many of you are probably aware of how to do it. We just need to go through and sort of rebuild the ship in a certain way that it will allow us to enter it and fly it, as well as clearing all these various errors. Now, someone will have to let me know, but are these spine parts new? Because I don't really remember seeing these until Shattered Space. Let me know, that might not be the case, but yeah, they look kind of new to me. The other thing you will definitely need if you do want to muck around is you will need your TN's Class M ship building mod. But again, if you do want to fly these, we're going to have to reconfigure it. I'll try to remember to put a video link in the top right, which sort of runs through the process of how you do it with Class M ships. Funnily enough, both called the Mourning, two distinct looks, but also sharing very similar builds. But yeah, I thought this was cool to start off with, as we do have two new Class M ships sort of in the background within Shattered Space. Hopefully we can see a mod where these will either be purchasable or even as new encounters. Now, this next mod to me is particularly freaking unreal, which also builds on top of the mod we just covered, which introduces full colorization to Class M components. This is so freaking wild. This mod is called Class M Recolors, and it is by the same legend that brought us the mod just previously, Vitamin K45. This thing is freaking madness. I'm so stoked for this one because previously spending so many bloody hours mucking around with Class M's, now we have the opportunity to completely colorize nearly all the various components. And I mean, this is just going to be so game changing for so many of the Class M builds. The nice thing about this mod is that it does give you the breakdown of the three color 1, 2, and 3, subdividing many of the major aspects of all the components, giving us a really cool and unique flexibility. And with the Class M components having such big surface area, the coloring of these ships is going to be even more potent and defining, if not more interesting and attention drawing than the smaller Class C, A, B ships. Now, I'm assuming this will come to Xbox at some point, but do note this is only on PC. But I do want to bring it to your attention because the more people know about certain mods that are only on PC, perhaps will lead to their eventual state being dropped on Xbox and creations. But I mean, check something like this out. I mean, this looks ridiculous, but just goes to show what happens when you really punch out the colors on such a large surface area on some of these components. It just looks out of this world. Do note it does also color the engines. I just sort of didn't select them correctly. Okay, this time I've correctly selected everything. Here is a cool example. You can pretty much color all Class M components. You will need to make sure that they're all connected properly, just so when you select them all, you can actually color them. If they're not properly connected, you won't be able to. So for example, when I double click, you can actually see it's all highlighted, whereas previously when I double clicked, there'd be a couple components not connected even though that they were. But just your typical issues when you muck around with Class M components. Many of you are familiar with that. But isn't this freaking unreal? So stoked about this, being able to colorize Class M components, hopefully coming to Xbox, but for now just on PC. Really nice to see. Let's keep moving. Okay, this next mod is probably the best Mercury Tower Penthouse fully furnished mod that I've seen. This one is done by Phoenix08, and oh boy, this is almost as close as I could imagine being done by a professional decorator. This thing is mental. It's another complete overhaul of the Mercury Tower Penthouse, allowing players to experience an upscaled living space in New Atlantis. This mod adds a luxurious, lore-friendly furnishing and decor, welcoming players into the opulent world of United Colonies UC Elite. Just going through some of the near perfection of this mod, the interior spacing is very warm, inviting, with a very lavish / also cozy mixture. With everything being fully equipped, we're talking your fridge or your workbenches sort of scattered throughout the area in all the rooms that make sense. You sort of have like a few different rooms that are sort of segregated, which you'll have your science room, your storage and weapon room, personal office, dual balconies. The balconies are incredible. Some of the storage options are a fridge, freezer, personal safe. You'll have 4 storage crates and 4 ammo crates, 6 weapon mounts, 2 wetsuit mannequins, numerous additional storage stashed everywhere, all the usual workbenches and typical stuff you're expecting. But the other thing I love about this mod is that it has NPCs scattered throughout the area, your own security, also you're kind of like your personal chef, if you will, even though they don't really do any cooking for you. But it's just really nice to have quite a few NPCs living amongst you within this apartment. The level of detail of this is truly mind-blowing. This is one you really have to check out yourself just to get a bit of a jaw-dropping experience, because it is just so well done. The lighting, the handcrafted placement of all the little objects and details, as well as just some of the areas creating its own atmosphere, look, feel and appeal. Some of this may look slightly familiar, as some of it has been very kindly allowed by Nizon to add some of his parts of his mod into this. But I mean, it is rather remarkable. And I think I forgot to show off this room, so I'll just quickly show you now. This is kind of the research room, but I mean, this is very remarkable. You'll be able to decorate this place yourself as well. However, it's done to such a good level of detail, it doesn't really require anything. Couldn't recommend this mod enough. It has all the class, all the functionality, and is brought to life with lots of NPCs just chilling out in your space. Really nicely well done mod by Phoenix. Let's keep moving. Talk about being completely spoiled with some incredible mods. This one is done by Downfall Nemesis. This is Nem's Deco pack, and oh boy, it adds 331 of some of the most creative, unique, beautiful building decorations for your outpost. This mod enhances our customization by providing a huge wide range of decor items, and we're talking pristine, visually appealing and personalized items, from workbenches to shelves to beds to tables to everything you could even think of. As mentioned, this offers an extensive item list of 331 unique decor items that have been added to the outpost menu, allowing for detailed and various customization options. So it does look like it might only be for your outpost, but just going through and having a look at some of these amazing pieces, there is so much to go through here. So we'll just have a little look at a few bits and pieces, but just to give you an idea, a lot of this stuff looks unique to this mod, and it just offers such an insane amount, as well as all these amazing objects. The nice thing about this mod is that it looks like by default it does put it into its own category, which is its own Nem's Deco pack category, and then under that I believe it has 35 subcategories. And what's truly mind-blowing about this, which we don't even realize what a blessing and how unreal it is that they all have their own custom icons, which is just, I don't know, that's just so freaking unreal and mad. Now, what's even more way crazier and impressive is that you also can get these blueprint terminals. Comes in 2 different varieties. You get a desk variety or one you can just pop on a table. But what we can do with this blueprint terminal, it lets us toggle the visibility of each of the decor subcategories within the build menu. I mean, what the hell? Who thinks of this? This is incredible. So what you do is, say if you want to go into the decoration blueprints, let's say we just want to hide the bars. We're going to go hide bars. So that means when we exit out of here and we go back into our decor, there was a subcategory called bars. And if we just scroll down and have a look to see if it's anywhere available, you'll notice that it is no longer there. We have bar tables, but no bar. Now, just to show you that it works, we'll just exit out of this, jump back into the terminal and head back into the decorations and just go show bars. So now we'll exit, go back into our builder, and you'll see here we have the bar category again. Isn't that mental? So what this will allow you to do is just really clean up this decor. If you only want certain aspects of this mod to show, you can now have complete control out of that using this blueprint terminal, which is kind of remarkable. I mean, I never would have thought about this, but this is a cool custom way to really unclutter your build menu if you choose to. Otherwise, it's quite niftily just sort of in its own category. I do have the categories mod on, but I don't believe you need that for it to be in its own category within your builder. The other important thing to note is that all these items are available for 250 credits. Also, some of these items will be incorporated from some of the other Downfall Nemesis previous mods. Just rattling off some of the categories that we have custom crafting stations, custom decor items, bar, coffee tables, desks, display items, rugs, shelves, sideboards, side tables, wall art, displays. We have custom weapon display tables with cases, furniture, bunk beds, couches, tables, and beds. Power, we have 2 floor lamps. Robots, we've got some static robots as well. Many custom storage solutions, ammunition, bookcases, dressers, and it goes on and on. It's just such a huge decor mod. You will not be disappointed. Another superb addition to add if you're a builder or you just want to check out some really cool custom items. Unreal, this is a free mod. Huge props to Downfall Nemesis. Let's keep moving. This next mod is a bit of a personal pick, but this could be very useful, particularly when trying to test like certain points of interest. And this one is called Extremely High Human Point of Interest Density, and pretty self-explanatory. Upon landing on a planet, you will see a ton of human points of interest. Now, this is very helpful in certain situations where other mods might change some of the enemies or some of the other aspects to these points of interest, and this mod can be very handy just to test and to try find them quicker. Or if you're just trying to find a very particular human point of interest, this is really going to help. Now, I don't recommend having this on all the time, but this can be something hugely advantageous depending on your scenario. This one is by the legend Halrix, who's done many amazing mods. Elevator one always comes to mind. Now, there's a good chance you will get a performance hit with this, but as you can see, some of them do not bring up the markers and have not loaded in sort of correctly. Only half of them will actually have the location where you can quick travel to if you have the other mod on, but it's just very handy. But it really will make sure every single place you land is just going to be stacked full of points of interest. But a nifty little mod which will help me test the next mod that we're going to be covering. So this next mod is one that I've been wanting to cover for a while, and it's called Vortex Phantom Invasion. And this nifty little mod is going to introduce many of the Vortex enemies, the humanoid sort of looking enemies, into the world. So this is something I've been really keen to see, and I was hoping that would be even a part of Shattered Space, is that the Vortex would leak out into the universe. This mod kind of gives an attempt at trying to introduce that. Now we will encounter the redeemed Vortex, Maroon, and Vortex enemies in a few different locations. So some of the locations of note that you'll find them are noted as former mines, research labs, and military bases. Now, from my understanding with this mod is that it also adds the Vortex and expands it to the other factions. If I understand this correctly, we will get Crimson Fleet, Ecliptic, Spaces, and House Faroon Vortex enemies now. So they should look like the other Vortex enemies that we've come across for the Faroon in Shattered Space, but now it should be applicable to the other factions, I believe, if my understanding is correct. But I really like this mod because it does add some of that Shattered Space goodness into the other points of interest, making the enemy encounters varying, especially when you have the redeemed. A point of interest that only has melee weapon users only is a good mix-up, especially with their speed and how they charge at you. These encounters are quite fun, and overall it is kind of a simple change, but this is done by Gamer1984, giving us a little bit of taste of Shattered Space within the greater world of Starfield. A cool gameplay mod to mix up your point of interest encounters. Let's keep moving. This next mod is wild. It's called Changeling, and it is by Mod Wanderer. This thing is bizarre because it adds functionality that we're somewhat familiar with, but then expands on it and flips it on its head. We can use it in ways that I never thought would be kind of interesting to use it, but let's just break this down. Okay, so for starters, the core concept of this mod is it's going to allow us to change our appearances, our NPCs' appearances. Pretty much everything is on the table here. So for instance, we can load look. We can pretty much pick a huge variety of NPCs and instantly change into them, I should say, allowing for crazy instant change to your favorite NPC or what have you. Cool thing is, at any point, we can just restore ourselves back just by going to restore me, which will change us back into our NPC. We can also then enhance as well. If we want to customize ourselves, we can quickly do that using this mod as well. Then we can also store new looks and load them. But here is where things get very interesting, is where we go alter acquire. This is where we can basically switch, swap, or steal looks of other NPCs that we encounter. So for instance, if we go into alter, we go into a new mode, and let's say I want to swap the look of the guy that always sells us the ships. We can go swap, and then boom, look at this. We are instantly changed into the guy that sells the ships, and then that's us over there. I mean, isn't this bloody wild? This mod is very interesting in this sense. So what we can also do, now that we've captured this look, we can store it. I've already got one under Actor 1, but let's go Actor 2. So now we have this look stored. So you can go around and actually capture, just like a Changeling, and steal their look. But say if we want to then expand on this, we can also enhance each individual NPC, changing the way they look. Then we can save that if we wanted to. We can also go back into their inventory and obviously swap back. Now, if we disable the alter mode and then we use the skill and we go restore to me, we will go back and restore ourselves. So we generally always have the restore point, but basically we just created an NPC that looks like us now. And you can see how the sky's the limit with this mod. And now that we've saved an actor, let's go and reload the one that we just created. Okay, that's a little bit buggy by the looks of it, but in theory, we should be able to select actor 2 and we should change back to the technician. So it should work for you in most cases, but perhaps I did not follow the steps correctly. But in any case, this mod just offers so much functionality. The other interesting thing is that you can use this in combat. And that's where things get very, very interesting. If we trigger this power and we go into the acquire mode and then we start using it on enemies, we can go combat alter strip, and this is the power. We can use it on this guy, strip him of his weapons and clothes, and he turns it into us. So very interesting kind of concept there. Being able to use this as a power, but as also being able to steal any NPC's look, alter them, even open their inventory. I mean, this is a very well constructed mod, and I found it to be very stable, and I love the fact that we can use it in combat as well and just strip NPCs. Now the mod, in terms of its range, it's quite phenomenal because if you hit an NPC from quite a long distance, it still works. Let's say we want to store this guy's look. We're going to store him as actor 3. We're going to go confirm. And then we're going to use the power and try hit this guy way over there, and it's going to hit him hopefully. Oh, we missed him, but let's see if we can hit this guy from far, far, far away. Oh, he moved, but you get the idea. We can hit him for a long way, but if we need to quickly bring up the menu, just hit any NPC close to you. We're going to go disable the alter mode. We're going to use the power again. We're going to try load the store look of actor 3, and then here we are. We've actually completely changed the figure of one of the enemies we were just facing. So that's pretty incredible. So if you ever see an NPC that you like the look of, you can capture that look even, and then say if you wanted Sarah to look like that, then you can make Sarah look like that NPC you just like the look of. So the way you could apply this mod is truly mind-blowing. It's such a crazy cool mod and something worth just playing around with. There'll be so many cool and unusual ways to play this. It also has the combat role as well as just being the ultimate way to change and capture NPCs' appearances. Very interesting mod. Let's keep moving. So we've got a few weapon mods that all sort of come under this bracket, and these are the Aaliyah, Addison's recharging mods. Now we're going to take a look at the Big Bang in this particular demonstration, but there are pretty much all the various different weapons will be individual mods showcasing pretty much the same impacts, but just different weapons. We're looking at the Big Bang. And why is this mod appealing? Well, because it introduces a charging effect onto your weapon. So I haven't tried this out yet, so this is one I've had my eye on, I've been wanting to try. So what this mod is attempting to do is just to rework some of the weapons, particularly say the Big Bang in this case, where it's going to change it to a high impact, long range laser combat weapon. So the Big Bang isn't probably the best example of this because the Big Bang already has like instantaneous long range weapon fire, although it is a little bit less inaccurate than others, but it still performs quite well at long distance. This is going to change it to actually shoot laser projectiles, making it a little bit more interesting, or just changing the combat dynamics a little bit. But the mod will transform the Big Bang into a powerful laser weapon that doesn't require ammo or reloading, making it a very unique option for continuous high damage output. With its enhanced stats and perks, this weapon is optimized to be an overall deadly weapon. If we look at some of the perks, we have Instigating, deals double damage to targets with full health, Staggering, Shattering, so quite a potent mix, and obviously very high damage, equal to some of the new weapons introduced in Shattered Space. This kind of damage for a laser weapon is pretty much unheard of until Shattered Space or mods, but it does add an interesting sort of dynamic that is a bit fresh to these weapons. It's something worth trying and will not require you to reload. So we can just sit here and kind of fire like a madman. Once you do get down to 0, you will have the recharge. So that is the sort of recharge to this mod, is that it doesn't require ammo or reloading, but it will recharge, sort of being a little bit more like a laser weapon. Here we've hit it and we need to recharge. One thing I will admit with this mod is that it is actually surprisingly fun using the weapons in this configuration. I see the mod's intentions here, and being able to spit down lasers that do high damage from far distance but also have just unlimited ammo with the recharging. If you pace your shots out and sort of stagger them out, you actually have a lot of bullets to put down range. Quite deceptively interesting and a fun mod with a few changes like this. Cool concept, neat mod. Let's keep moving. Just checking out a ship mod. This is the Stroud-Eklund Decatur-Class Frigate by Eagle131, who's done quite a few ship uploads. This is a nice lore-friendly, combat-focused standalone ship mod for Starfield, tailored for players who both enjoy role-playing and like high-stakes space combat. This mod offers an impressive addition for those looking to experience a more powerful warship with a detailed backstory and strong combat utility. Depending on your perks, purchasing this ship could land you at a roughly 560k. So as well as having quite an immersive narrative, this is inspired by Walter Stroud's desire to compete with Deimos Staryard. The ship is purchased through the ShipTechnician in New Atlantis, allowing players to add it nice and easy to the fleet, which I always love. So some key things to note. It does say it's a Class B, but when I've looked at this ship, it is a Class C reactor, which I like to see. We have the J51 Gamma Grav Drive, a superb choice. For the shield, we have the Assurance SG-1800 shield generator, top choice as well. For the engines, we have the Nova 1015, and there's 4 of those engines. For the weapon systems, we have the Vanguard Hellfire autocannons, some of the best weapons in the game, 4 of those. Then we have the Particle, we have the PB300 Alpha Beam, also one of the best weapons. And these are nicely hidden within the core structure of the ship, which is nice because that is going to have that cool firing effect, which I'll show you. But just before I do, I really do love the look of this ship. One thing that I would consider though, I know it's a Deimos, but what I would like to do is I'd probably go in and recolor this. You could probably color this in such a cool way, particularly because we have this cool kind of spine running down the middle. This is not a good example, but just gives you an idea. Colorizing this could be really fantastic, could get some really nice results. Its maneuverability is superb, and the ship is very nicely balanced so that you can have full engine, shield, and full particle, and pretty much an optimal setup for your weaponry. And as mentioned, we get the cool particle coming out of the center of the ship. The ship, in terms of its destructive power, is absolutely brutal. It will pretty much take on most challenges within the game. Could obviously beef this up with another weapon, but so far, very nice. Overall, a very nice ship to consider. The look, feel, and the build, as well as a good backstory. This could be a perfect ship just to check out for yourself. I've certainly enjoyed it, and I absolutely dig the look and features. Nice ship mod. Let's keep moving.